In the heart of the Somali savannah, there lived a lion who was known to be the most powerful of all the animals. His mane was thick and golden, his roar echoed across the plains, and his claws were sharp enough to tear through anything that stood in his way. The other animals both respected and feared him, for they knew that the lion could be ruthless when he wanted to be. But this lion was not just powerful, he was also cunning, and he often used his deceit to get what he wanted. One day, as the lion was wandering through his territory, he came across a watering hole where all the animals gathered to drink. He watched them from a distance, hidden behind a bush, and noticed that they seemed happy and content. This did not sit well with the lion. He believed that the animals should always be afraid of him, and he decided that it was time to remind them of who was in charge. The lion thought long and hard about how he could assert his dominance without having to fight all the animals at once. Then, the devious plan formed in his mind. He would use their own trust against them, turning their camaraderie into suspicion and fear. The next day, the lion approached the watering hole with a friendly smile on his face. The other animals were surprised to see him so calm and approachable, but they didn't want to upset him, so they greeted him warmly. "Good day, friends," the lion said in a voice that was unusually kind. "I have been thinking a lot lately, and I realize that I have not been the most considerate of rulers. I have ruled by fear for too long, and I wish to change that. From now on, I want to be a leader that you can trust and rely on." The animals were taken aback by the lion's words. Could it be true that the fearsome lion had turned over a new leaf? They exchanged uncertain glances, but no one dared to voice their doubts. To prove his sincerity, the lion continued, "As a gesture of goodwill, I will no longer hunt within our territory. Instead, I will journey to the far ends of the savannah to find my food, leaving you all in peace. I ask only that you continue to respect me as your leader." The animals were overjoyed at this announcement. They had lived in fear of the lion for so long that the thought of him no longer being a threat seemed too good to be true. They praised the lion for his wisdom and kindness, and soon, word of his new demeanor spread throughout the savannah. For a while, the lion kept his word. He did not hunt within the territory, and the animals began to feel safe. But the lion's true nature had not changed. He was simply biding his time, waiting for the right moment to strike. One day, the lion decided to put his plan into action. He approached a small group of animals, an antelope, a zebra, and a wildebeest who were grazing near the edge of the savannah. The lion greeted them warmly and engaged them in conversation. After a while, he began to speak in a low, conspiratorial tone. "My friends," the lion whispered, "I have heard disturbing rumors. Some among you are plotting to overthrow me. They are jealous of my strength and wish to take my place as ruler. But I know who my true friends are, and I wanted to warn you so that you could protect yourselves." The three animals looked at each other in shock. "Who would do such a thing?" the antelope asked. The lion shook his head sadly. "I do not wish to name names, for I do not want to sow discord among you. But you must be careful. Trust no one too easily. You never know who might be plotting against you." The lion's words had the desired effect. The antelope, zebra, and wildebeest began to eye each other with suspicion. Each of them wondered if the others were part of the supposed plot. They became wary and withdrawn, no longer trusting one another as they once had. Satisfied with the seeds of doubt he had sown, the lion moved on to other groups of animals, spreading the same rumors. Soon, the entire savannah was buzzing with fear and suspicion. The once harmonious community was now divided, with each animal looking out only for themselves. As the days passed, the lion noticed that the animals no longer gathered at the watering hole together. They came one by one, looking over their shoulders, afraid that they might be attacked by a supposed traitor. The lion knew that his plan was working perfectly. One night, as the lion lay in his den, he decided it was time to take the final step in his plan. The next day, the lion approached the watering hole just as the antelope was arriving. The antelope, seeing the lion, froze in fear. But the lion did not attack. Instead, he said, "I have heard that you are the one leading the plot against me. I cannot allow this to go unpunished." The antelope, terrified and confused, tried to protest, but the lion would not listen. He pounced on the antelope and devoured him, leaving nothing but bones behind. Word of the antelope's death spread quickly, and the other animals were even more terrified. The lion, of course, was pleased with himself. He had successfully turned the animals against each other, and now he could pick them off one by one without any resistance. The lion continued his deceitful tactics, accusing different animals of plotting against him and then hunting them down. Each time, he would claim that he was acting in self-defense, protecting his rule. The animals, too frightened to band together, remained divided and helpless. But the lion's deception could not last forever. One day, a wise old tortoise, who had been observing the lion's actions from afar, decided that enough was enough. The tortoise slowly made his way to the watering hole, where a few nervous animals were gathered. "My friends," the tortoise said in his slow, deliberate voice, "I have lived for many years, and I have seen much in my time. I have seen how the lion has turned us against each other with his lies and deceit. He has made us believe that we are enemies when in truth, our only enemy is him." The animals listened to the tortoise's words and began to realize the truth. They had been fooled by the lion's cunning, but now they saw that they needed to stand together if they were to survive. The tortoise continued, "We must unite and confront the lion. Only then will we be able to live in peace once more." Encouraged by the tortoise's wisdom, the animals decided to take action. They gathered together, no longer afraid, and marched towards the lion's den. When the lion saw the united front of the animals, he realized that his deceit had been uncovered. For the first time in his life, the lion felt fear. He knew that he could not fight all the animals at once. The lion tried to flee, but the animals were too quick. They surrounded him, cutting off any escape. The lion, seeing that he was outnumbered, pleaded for mercy, but the animals had had enough of his lies and treachery. Together, they drove the lion out of the savannah, banishing him to the farthest reaches of the wilderness, where he would no longer be a threat to them. The lion, once so powerful and feared, was now a lonely outcast, his deceit having led to his downfall. With the lion gone, the animals slowly began to rebuild their trust in one another. The tortoise's wisdom had saved them, and they vowed never to let fear and suspicion divide them again. From that day on, the animals of the savannah lived in harmony, knowing that true strength came from unity and trust, not from deceit and fear. And as for the lion, he wandered the wilderness alone, forever regretting the day he chose to deceive those who had once respected him.